is our third Q&A together.
Yes, it is.
Third time's the charm. Thanks for coming back to Dallas.
I've missed you.
Of course, I've missed you too. You complete me. So, the last time you were here was a fantastic build-up because where Arrow was at that point, it was where you had just kind of come back.
Yes.
And so, again, I think this week's episode is another great build-up because we've seen some really big things happen, and there's some huge tension coming up. So, I'm not going to ask for any spoilers, but is there anything you can tell us about what we can expect maybe in the next few episodes?
No.
No, okay.
No, there's, we have some returning favorites. Cupid is coming back to the show.
Cool.
Amy does a fantastic job with that character. I like that character. We are going to meet in a couple of later episodes a few villains from previous seasons that we haven't seen since then. And then there's that whole who's in the grave thing.
Right, yeah, we want to know that. Why don't you just tell everybody right now who's in the grave?
Guys, turn off your phones and I'll
Just make up. We'll put it out there, it'll go viral. It could be the wrong thing, you know?
I would say my only spoiler with that would be that just because it's something that we've teased since the beginning of the season does not mean that it won't happen until the end of the season.
Okay, good.
So enjoy.
Maybe not that long. By the way, I'm hoping everybody's caught up on Arrow because there's probably going to be some spoilers that we discuss here, but I really enjoyed the way you Vadered Heroin. That's something I saw somebody mention, and I thought that was a great way to put it. You Vadered him.
I Vadered him. Yeah, I cut his hand off. Well, he deserved it. Somebody was saying to me earlier, a family came up to me and they were like, but you should have killed him. Look at what he has done. Look at everything that he has done. You should have killed him. You should have killed him. Why didn't you kill him? And I thought about it for a second, and I think that my answer is something that I'm going to be able to use going forward. Good decisions make for bad television. Bad decisions, good television.
Well, and based on what just happened, I think you may have even more motivation now to get your revenge at some point, depending on how things play out.
Yeah, the dangling carrot of my son, my estranged son, and his mother in danger is something that we're going to address very, very soon on the show.
Another great standout episode, I think, this season was you guys did a phenomenal job of introducing Vandal Savage to the whole universe.
Yeah.
And the crossover episode with The Flash. I mean, it's going to be so much fun to shoot those episodes. There's so much going on in those episodes.
It's a ton of fun. We've had a ton of fun this year with the mystical elements, with the magical elements. Oh, a character that we have coming is Vixen from the animated series. So that's very exciting, and I mean, I've gotten to do stuff this year that I never envisioned being able to do. We have an episode of Legends of Tomorrow coming up called Star City 2046, which is exactly what it sounds like. And I get to do some things as Oliver Queen that I really never thought that I would do.
Yeah.
And we get to introduce an absolutely critical character in sort of the Arrow timeline that I don't think we ever would have been able to introduce on Arrow. So we get to do it on Legends.
How does it feel now that you've had the 4 seasons under your belt and, you know, being able to know that, I mean, because genre shows like this don't always get a chance to breathe, and you guys are really getting a nice run. So now that you've got 4 seasons under your belt, like, what is the feeling with the cast and everybody right now? Does it feel like you guys are, the best is yet to come, or what are you feeling at this point?
Well, I'm getting excited because I feel like the show was built to be 5 years long. Now, it's not going to end after season 5.
Did you hear what Stephen Amell just said?
27 more episodes, we're done. No, it's not going to end after season 5, but we did build in a 5-year story. So to me, I feel like we're gaining a little bit of momentum right now, but we have a real opportunity through the end of this year and through season 5 to really put a button on that whole flashback story. There's so much stuff that we have to get done in the flashbacks that I almost feel like I'm putting off an assignment. Like, I talk to the writers every once in a while, I'm like, I've made a list of things from the flashbacks. Have you? have? Okay.
I want to get to the audience questions too, because we got a lot of people lined up, but I did want to ask you briefly about playing Casey Jones in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because I'm a huge Turtle fan. And that really is such a stinking cool character to be able to take on. So can you talk a little bit about what that experience was like, and was there a lot of freedom to interpretation on that role?
There was, and the thing that I like about it is that on paper, Casey Jones and Oliver Queen, both super powerless vigilantes, would seem like a similar character, but believe me when I tell you that I don't find any Oliver in Casey. And so it was a really nice opportunity for me after 3 seasons of Arrow. It's so difficult to schedule something during my hiatus because it's so short. The fact that I got to go and play that and stretch out a little bit was so much fun. And you know, for Turtles fans, there's really nothing that you're not getting in this movie. You're getting an awesome Shredder. Brian T is fantastic. Bebop and Rocksteady, and you know, from the Super Bowl commercial, it certainly looks like Krang.
Yeah, I almost don't want to see more until it comes out because it's like so exciting.
There'll be one more. There'll be one more trailer. Yeah, we haven't really told the story of what it is yet.
Yeah, very cool. You got your hockey sticks skills down, I hope.
That's right.
All right, listen, I'm going to make this about you guys, so let's turn it over to the audience. We're going to start here, then we'll go here, and we'll go back and forth. Let's try to go as fast as we can because I know we got a lot of people in line. We'll start right here.
Do you know who Artemis is, and will she be coming on the show soon or later?
Who?
Artemis.
Artemis.
Yes.
I do know who Artemis is. I don't think that there are any plans to bring her on anytime soon.
Sorry.
Hi, my name is Elle, and I was wondering, like, what sort of martial arts what training you do to film the show. If there's any.
So the best way that I can put it is that you know, I do my training with my trainer Thomas up in Vancouver, and but for the show, one of the things that I've become more proficient at as we move through the seasons is the skill of fighting on television, the skill of fighting, you know, televised martial arts, I suppose, because I feel like fighting for the camera is a specific type of skill. If the camera is right there and the person that you're going to punch in the face is right here, there is a specific way that you should swing to make it look like that punch actually connects. And I've gotten to know that without having to be told anymore. I've also gotten a lot better at, during the pilot and during some early episodes of the show, we would have tons of time to put fights together. That's not so much the case anymore. I'm really learning those fights on the fly, and I'm really good at coming in, talking to I'd like to think I'm pretty good at coming in, talking to our fight choreographer, Stephen Amell says he's excellent at, and having him say, here are these 8 moves, you know, pop, 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 pop. And okay, show me again. Pop, 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 pop. I go in, I kind of do it, I do a little bit quicker, and then roll the cameras. So that's something that I've gotten better at.
I'll say it, you are pretty good at
Thank you.
So, right over here.
Hi, my name is Crystal. I was wondering, how is it like to play a hero, and would you ever change that to play a villain?
Yes. I actually got a little bit worried. I got a little bit worried because my first, 6 or 7 jobs, the only time that I wasn't playing a villain, I was playing a hooker. So you start taking long looks at yourself in the mirror going, is there something wrong? Why are people identifying this one very evil trait in me? I do enjoy playing someone that is heroic and that always strives to do the right thing, even when that doesn't always mean making the right decision. But some of my favorite moments for Oliver is when we see a flaw in him, when we see the elements that aren't heroic, because I think that humanizes the character, makes it a little bit more relatable, and I like making people mad every once in a while.
I saw some dark stuff with you asking where Damien Dark was. It was some kind of a darker side of Oliver there.
Yeah, and that was important. There are a few elements of the character that, as we move through the show, and as we keep trying to push the envelope, you can't push it so far that you get away from the core elements of the show that made people enjoy it in the first place.
Right.
I mean, you can certainly go to the well one too many times, but at the same time, that's the character. I read online, I know a lot of fans were upset that, Oliver wasn't truthful with Felicity, and I thought that it was fascinating. It's not a lot of fun, because it's obviously going to come back and bite him in the ass.
Let's go next.
Can you shoot a bow and arrow? If so, good.
So awesome. That's like the best way to ask that question.
Yes, and yes.
Fantastic. Next. Let's keep all the questions.
I wish every question was like that.
Right here.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie, and I was wondering, how did you get the role of the Arrow, and how many more seasons do you think there will be?
That's a great question. I got the role of Oliver Queen because the show that I had been on previously on HBO was canceled. So it was canceled in late December, and at the time I was working as a guest star on Private Practice, and the role of, the pilot of Arrow came up. Robbie, my cousin, told me about it, and was like, you should audition for this because, they want me to audition, and I read it, and all I could picture was you doing it, and it pissed me off. So you should definitely read for that. And I said, I'm sure I will. And the only thing that was unnerving about the audition process was how seamless it was. I was the first person to audition. Shortly after the audition, the director of the pilot told me that I was going to be cast as Oliver, but then I still had to go and test for the network and test for the studio and then be approved by the head of CBS, and not just the CW. And so it was scary because it felt like everything was going so perfectly that I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop. But then I got the call, and that was a little more than 4 years ago now.
Nice. Yeah. Fair.
Do the stunts scare you? Yes. How? Or no? Well, no.
Well,
They do. The stunts are scary. I have a fight in Ninja Turtles with Bebop and Rocksteady before they become the Bebop and Rocksteady that we all know. And the guy that was playing Rocksteady, his name is Stephen Farrelly, but WWE fans would know him as Sheamus. And Sheamus is utterly terrifying. And I had to run at him, and he had to pretend to headbutt me, and I was convinced that he was going to kill me. And then, of course, with Arrow, there'll be certain things where it'll be a jump or swinging down from the tree or something, and I'm always very demonstrative and going, "You're going to let me do this. No one else is going to do this. It's me. It's not a double." But I'm kind of afraid of heights. So I get up there and I go, and then I try to look cool.
Hi, I'm Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina.
So supposedly Oliver and Felicity are going to break up in the next episode, or something bad like that.
You know what? I saw you fish. You were fishing for spoilers earlier, talking about things like they had happened, trying to get me to slip up. You won't catch me, Sabrina.
Well, is there anything you can say, maybe about to give us hope in the next episode?
I will give you some hope. Okay? Obviously, at some point this year, the chickens are going to come home to roost for Oliver, and Felicity will likely find out that I have, a 10-year-old kid. Oliver. I'm sure, but I will tell you that if that happens, I promise that they will handle it like adults.
I'm William, and who's in the grave?
They just don't give up. It's like, just tell us who's in the grave. Come on. Well, that makes sense. No, that makes sense.
No, I can't tell you who's in the grave. I can tell you that I think it's a super interesting storytelling technique. And I don't enjoy the prevailing sense of dread that it has given both the fan base And to be totally honest, the actors on the show, because nobody knows. When that scene was filmed at the beginning of the season, nobody knew. So that's been tough. It's been tough.
So like the reverse shot, there's nothing on the tombstone. You have no idea what's on that tombstone.
When I shot the scene, I went to the EPs and I said, "Do you know?" And they said, "Even if we did, we wouldn't tell you." So I then asked them some questions and I said, "Okay, well, how should I react? You've got to give me a ballpark because I have to have something in my mind's eye." And they helped me with that.
Yeah.
Because we can't, the scene in reverse has to make sense, right? Because it has to fit in seamlessly whenever we catch up to when that scene took place.
Okay. Right here.
Who do you think would win in a battle, you or Zoom from Flash?
Took down reverse Flash, no problem. Someone old and still will punch him in the face. Done. I hope that answers your question. By the way, this causes some controversy, right? But I always get asked, who would win in a fight? Green Arrow or Superman? Green Arrow or Batman? And of course, I'm always gonna say Green Arrow. And I mean like always. Always, always, always. And then I caught some flack on the internet for saying that I would beat Batman in a fight. And part of it was caused by my own cousin who guffawed at the notion. I was like, "Robbie, you're being a dick." Sorry for my language, but it really pissed me off. Like, I know you like Batman, but keep your thoughts to yourself. By the way, he's on X-Files. Watch it if you want.
Hello, I'm Nehemiah Knox. I'm the guy that did those Light Tip Saturday photoshops for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have one question about, I'm an aspiring filmmaker, so I want to know how is it like working with multiple different directors and the process that you have to go through when they film one episode one way and the next episode a different way.
It's really interesting because we have directors on the show. We had a director who directs episode 415, and his name is Gregory Smith, and he is, I think, 2 years younger than I am. And worked with Greg Berlanti, our main executive producer, all the way back to Everwood, and is an incredible director and has a real eye for it and is so organized and highly efficient, and I love working with Greg. And then, meanwhile, our director on the episode that I just finished, Michael Schultz, is in his 70s, and he is a totally different tenor and speed. We've had James Banford direct an episode this year, and he's our stunt choreographer, or, is when he is not directing. He's also directing the episode that is airing this Wednesday. And so it's nice because I'm always excited when the new director comes in, but by the time we get to the 8th day, I'm like, when are they gonna get rid of this guy? And then of course I'm excited when they come back. So, and also one of the great things that happens on a show as you get into year 4 is we've had a couple of brand new directors this year that are from within our crew, both James Banford and Gord Virhal, who directed the episode that just aired. And Gord has been the director of photography on Arrow since season 1. And when he gets to move up and direct, that means that the head of the lighting department gets to come up and be the director of photography. So it's really neat to see, guys that were dolly grips for the camera in season 1 are now operating, B camera and C camera in season 4, and that's a hyper rewarding thing. I've been working on a gift for the Arrow crew. I've been working on it since 2012. Okay, on Monday, from 3 o'clock until 5 o'clock, the Stanley Cup is coming to set.
Yeah!
You guys remember the Stars won the cup, right? The Stanley Cup. It's mainly me taking a dig because they're all Canucks fans. Like, they're all really excited. They're like, is the cup coming? Is the cup coming? And I go, yeah, how else is it gonna come to Vancouver? So it's a double sword for them, but they'll be happy ultimately.
What a guy, what a guy. Right here.
Ready to wipe that one.
Hi, my name is Ian. What is
Ian.
your favorite Pokemon?
You better get this right.
I don't know.
It's gotta be Charizard, right?
Is it Charizard? Can I tell a, since that was a question aimed at younger people that I wasn't able to answer, can I tell a fun story about my daughter? So my daughter just learned to climb out of her crib, right? Which is, it's always great in the middle of the night to hear. So anyway, she learns to climb out of her crib. We put her back in her crib. The following morning, we say, Maddie, you cannot climb out of your crib. We're going to get you a big girl bed, but it is dangerous. You need to stay in your bed. Do you understand? Do you understand that it's dangerous? Yes. You going to do it again? No. Okay. Now, daughter's just about to be 2.5. Maddie, why did you climb out of your crib? And I swear to God, she goes, it's my life!
Right here.
Hi, Steven.
Hi.
Please, first, say hi to my Olicity friends.
Hi. Oh, you asked me to do this last year, didn't you?
Yes,
Hello,
every year.
Olicity friends.
We are close to the 44,000.
Good for you guys.
Yeah, and my question is, could you please share some funny history with Emily filming a Olicity scene?
You know, working with Emily and being serious, one of the really nice things is that having shot so much content with her, I never get bored of it, and scenes are always super interesting. They never are what they appear to be on the page when you first read the script. And but as for a funny one, we have this running joke right now where right before a take, I'll just take my hand and I'll just go like that, which makes no sense at all until you work 14 hours a day with someone, and then it becomes incredibly funny. So just know that before any intimate moment, I have like draped my hands across her face like a spider. When there were two Felicities, when there was Felicity hallucinating, I thought that, I mean, the way that they did that, just in terms of technically, I thought was very, very interesting, but we actually got a great actor who has since been on Legends to come in and play either regular Felicity or hallucination Felicity, and it was just like, it was fascinating. It was a really, really interesting scene to do when I'm arguing and she's yelling and Felicity goes, "Shut up!" Like, that was a blast to film.
Right here.
Out of all the annoying things Robbie has done, which has been the most frustrating?
I think we talked about it already. No, Robbie's not annoying. I'll tell you, Robbie, he has a project coming up that we're going to be talking about more soon, and I think we're going to see some footage from within about a month or two. And that guy is always working. Always working. Like, he's on The Flash. He's on X-Files. He's in Toronto right now. He's filming a movie. And I'm always behind. I'm like, wait, what are you doing? And he's not annoying. He's just, you know, a little shorter than I am.
Right here.
How you doing? I was actually wondering, I'm pretty sure sharing this experience with Robbie has had its ups and downs with you.
No,
but
not at all.
Well, I was wondering, when you guys first started doing this, did you guys expect either Flash or Arrow to blow up as big as they did?
No, I mean, of course not. You know, we were going to, we didn't really become super close until I moved to Los Angeles in 2010. Because, you know, I am 7 years older than he is, and that's an interesting gap to have when you're 20 and he's 13. It becomes more palatable when, you know, I'm 29 and he's 22.